Men, let's stop for a moment and talk about something most of you obsess over in all the wrong ways. I'm not talking about the size of your bedroom, the color of your sheets, or even the reflection you see in the mirror when the lights go off. I'm talking about the one place where masks slip, where ego dissolves, and where the raw, unfiltered truth of who you really are is laid bare. That place is the bedroom, and what you do there says more about you than your car, your bank account, or the carefully curated persona you flaunt on social media ever could. Think about that. Women don't just remember your moves, they remember how you made them feel. And that, gentlemen, is the cornerstone of unforgettable intimacy. The bedroom is not a stage for performance. It's a mirror reflecting the depth of your character. It separates boys from men, casual encounters from lasting impressions, fleeting moments from memories that echo years later. If you've ever wondered why some men leave marks on a woman's heart long after the lights go out, it's not because of inches, tricks, or rehearsed techniques. It's because of something deeper, something far more profound than any physical act. Today, I'm going to take you behind the curtain and reveal the 6 transformative practices that men who are unforgettable in the bedroom embody naturally. These are the things that distinguish a king from a player, a man of substance from a boy chasing temporary thrills. And it all begins with presence. Let's get this straight. Straight women don't remember performances. They remember presence. Yet so many men have been brainwashed into believing that intimacy is a checklist, a set of rehearsed moves, or a contest of endurance. They watch videos, absorb locker room myths, and compare themselves to other men they'll never meet. They step into the bedroom burdened by pressure, anxiety, and a desperate need to prove something, rather than a desire to connect. Here's the reality. Presence is the antidote to all of that. Presence is slowing down enough to notice her, truly noticing her. Not as an object, not as a prize, not as a stepping stone, but as a human being whose essence deserves to be witnessed. Presence is when your mind isn't planning the next move, when your ego isn't in the driver's seat, when there's nothing between you and the moment except her. When a man is fully present, a woman senses it deep in her soul. She feels seen, valued, cherished. She doesn't feel like a vessel for someone else's release. She feels like the only person in your universe. That is the essence of unforgettable connection. Think about it. When was the last time you actually looked into a woman's eyes and lingered there long enough for her to feel truly naked, not just in body but in spirit? When was the last time your touch lingered with intention, unhurried, simply celebrating her presence rather than racing toward a goal? True presence means you're not distracted by your phone, your insecurities, or the endless noise of the world. It means you've shut it all out and you've given her your full, undivided attention. That kind of focus is rare, and rarity is magnetic. Here's what most men don't grasp. Physical performance fades. Tricks become predictable. Techniques are forgotten. But the memory of a man who made her feel seen, safe, and deeply connected, that lingers indefinitely. So stop obsessing over whether you're enough. Stop comparing yourself to an imaginary standard. The men who leave a lasting imprint aren't the ones with the flashiest moves. They're the ones who are present. If you want to stand out in the bedroom, if you want to be remembered years later, don't focus on your performance. Focus on her. Be present. That is where real power lies. Before passion, before pleasure, before anything physical, there must be safety. And I'm not just talking about protection from risk. I'm talking about emotional safety. Because here's the truth, men. No matter how confident or composed a woman may appear in public, when she steps into intimacy, she becomes vulnerable. She exposes herself. And the man she's with in that moment, how he shows up, will determine whether she opens fully or shuts down forever. Emotional safety means she doesn't feel judged. It means she doesn't feel pressured. It means she can release her defenses without fearing that her heart will be disregarded. And this, gentlemen, is where most men fail. They chase the physical outcome without creating an emotional foundation. They want what they want without cultivating the environment in which something real can happen. But when a woman feels emotionally safe, something remarkable occurs. She allows you into a version of herself that no one else gets to see. She softens. She trusts. She flows naturally into intimacy without fear, without hesitation. And that, my friends, is when connection transforms into something transcendent. Emotional safety is built not with grandiose promises or rehearsed lines, but through the subtleties, the calm in your tone, the patience in your touch, the steadiness in your energy. It's the way you respond when she hesitates, not with pressure, but with reassurance. It's the gentle, intentional way you touch her, showing her she's not an object to be used, but a person to be valued. A man who consistently creates that sense of safety becomes unforgettable. Because in a world that constantly objectifies women, emotional safety is rare. Most men rush, demand, or make her feel as if she owes them something. But the man who whispers without saying a word, "You don't need to perform here. You don't need to hide here. You are safe with me," stands apart. Pleasure without safety is fleeting. Intimacy with safety is eternal. She may forget the playlist, the timing, even the details of the night, but she will never forget the man who made her feel protected, valued, and truly seen. Now let's talk about confidence, and let's do it properly. Confidence is magnetic, arrogance is poison, yet so many men confuse the two. They believe that dominating, puffing up their chest, or acting overly aggressive equates to attraction. They attempt to control every moment to impress at all costs, as if their presence alone isn't enough. But here's the reality. Women can detect arrogance from a mile away, and it destroys intimacy instantly. True confidence, on the other hand, is quiet. It doesn't need to announce itself. It doesn't crave validation. It manifests in the steadiness of your touch, the calm in your presence, the assurance in your energy. Confidence whispers, while arrogance screams, and women are drawn to the whisper. The most unforgettable men aren't trying to dominate, impress, or prove themselves. They already know who they are. They understand their value. They carry themselves with grounded assurance, which frees them to focus entirely on her experience. Confidence also allows a man to remain unshaken by mistakes or awkward moments. If something unexpected occurs, a confident man doesn't panic, lash out, or retreat into insecurity. He laughs, reassures, and keeps the moment alive with ease. That steadiness fosters trust, safety, and ultimately, deeper intimacy. Confidence isn't about perfection. It's about being fully present in your own skin, steady and grounded, while giving her the space to be fully herself. Here's the difference. Arrogance seeks, confidence gives. Arrogance screams, "Look at me, admire me, prove to me that I'm enough." Confidence whispers, "I already know I'm enough. Now let me make you feel the same." That subtle energy is palpable, and it changes everything in the bedroom. Ask yourself this: who do you want her to remember? The man who demanded respect, or the man whose calm, grounded presence made her feel seen, desired, and cherished without a hint of pressure? Respect that is forced is temporary. Respect earned through authentic, quiet confidence is unforgettable. So remember this: don't try to perform. Don't try to impress. Don't try to prove yourself. Simply be. Be grounded, steady, present. When you know who you are and when you move with assured calm, she will feel it and she will never forget it. That, gentlemen, is the foundation upon which unforgettable intimacy is built. And here's a truth most men have never been told. Women speak thousands of languages in the bedroom, and very few of them are verbal. The men who stand out are not the ones who talk the most. They are the ones who truly listen, not just with their ears, but with their eyes, their hands, their awareness. Listening without words means noticing the subtle signs she gives you, the shift in her breath, the way her body leans in or pulls back, the closing of her eyes when something feels perfect, the tension in her shoulders when it doesn't. Most men miss these cues because they are trapped in their own performance, thinking ahead, thinking about what comes next. The unforgettable men, however, are attuned. They read her body, her energy, her signals, and they adjust effortlessly. They slow down when she needs gentleness. They lean in when she invites closeness. And they do all of this without her having to articulate a single word. That is not just intimacy, that is mastery. Women don't want to feel like they are teaching a man to connect. They want a man who is so present, so aware, that he reads her energy as naturally as he breathes. That level of attentiveness transforms desire into deep understanding. Men, let's now explore the most overlooked yet most transformative quality in the bedroom: generosity. Not the kind measured in money, gifts, or grandiose gestures, but the kind that exists in energy, attention, and intention. Because in intimacy, your energy is everything, and the harsh truth is that most men are selfish with it. They enter moments of closeness focused solely on their own release, their own satisfaction, their own ego, approaching the encounter like a transaction to be won, rather than a connection to be nurtured. They take, they consume, they leave, often oblivious to the imprint, or lack thereof, they leave behind. But the men who are truly unforgettable, the ones who remain etched in a woman's memory long after the night ends, understand that intimacy is not a competition, and it is certainly not a performance for personal gain. Intimacy is a sacred exchange, an opportunity to give as much as you receive, to invest in another human being with the same care and devotion you bring to yourself. Generosity in the bedroom is tangible and nuanced, flowing through every interaction, every touch, every glance, every moment of undivided presence. It manifests when you slow down when she needs more time, when your hands and your attention linger with purpose, when your touch is not mechanical or rushed, but deliberate, reverent and attentive to her experience rather than your own. It shows in the questions you ask yourself. How can I make her feel cherished right now? How can I honor her presence, her emotions, her desires, her body without an ulterior motive? Generosity is reflected in the subtle shifts you make to ensure she is comfortable, safe, and fully present alongside you. It is found in the patience you display as you navigate her rhythms, in the way you respond to her hesitations with gentle reassurance rather than frustration, in the quiet acknowledgement that her pleasure and her sense of being valued are as important as your own. And here's where the magic happens. When you give without keeping score, when you offer yourself fully without expecting reciprocity, you create a ripple effect so profound that she naturally desires to reciprocate, to mirror that energy, to invest herself in the connection. Selfishness, on the other hand, no matter how subtle, extinguishes this energy. It reduces intimacy to a fleeting transaction, leaving only temporary satisfaction and no enduring resonance. Generosity makes a night echo in her memory because it communicates a truth that words cannot. You see her, you value her, you honor her not just for what she can provide, but for who she is. This generosity is not limited to physical gestures. It is the way you bring patience to her pace, the way you attune to her responses, the way you invest your focus, your presence, and your emotional availability as if her experience is as vital to the encounter as your own. It is in the quiet, often unnoticed details, the way your eyes follow her movements, the way your touch adapts to her unspoken cues, the way your energy flows with her, not against her, that she feels remembered, seen, and deeply understood. Too many men leave intimacy the moment passion ends, collapsing into their own world, neglecting the most crucial chapter of the encounter, the aftermath. Yet the true measure of a man's character in intimacy is how he leaves a woman after the climax has passed, after the physicality has faded, when vulnerability lingers and emotional resonance is what truly matters. Leaving her better than you found her is not an act of performance. It is an intentional choice to nourish, uplift, and honor the fullness of her being. It is in the gentle hold, the lingering gaze, the words unsaid but energy conveyed, the affirmation that she is valued beyond her body and beyond the fleeting pleasures of the night. The moments after intimacy, often overlooked, are where legacy is written. A woman will forget the exact timing, the sequence of acts, the superficial details, but she will never forget how she felt, cherished, safe, empowered, seen, honored, and more herself than when she entered the room. And that is the mark of a high-value man, the man who understands that intimacy is a shared journey, not a selfish conquest. Consider for a moment what it means to cultivate this level of attentiveness and generosity consistently. It means being present not only during the apex of desire, but throughout the entirety of the experience, extending patience, compassion, and connection to each moment as it unfolds. It is about anticipating her needs without her having to articulate them, about moving in harmony with her rhythm rather than dictating the tempo, about offering reassurance when she hesitates and space when she seeks it, all the while maintaining a steady, confident, and grounded energy that communicates without words. You are valued, you are safe, you are cherished, and your pleasure and presence are as important to me as my own. This intentional generosity transforms fleeting encounters into unforgettable memories, transient interactions into moments that reverberate long after the night ends. The most memorable men are not those who demanded, performed, or focused on themselves. They are those who gave freely, fully, and consciously, whose energy and presence became a gift, whose touch became an affirmation, whose attention became a sanctuary, and whose patience became a testament to their understanding of her worth. And it does not stop there, because the legacy of intimacy extends beyond the bedroom. The way you hold her afterward, the way you maintain connection in silence, the way you allow her to feel empowered, respected, and appreciated in those final moments communicates volumes about the man you are in life as well as in passion. Men who understand this create intimacy that lingers in memory, imprints upon the heart, and shapes the very way she perceives connection and love. She may forget the music, the time of night, the intricate details of technique, but she will never forget the emotional landscape you cultivated, the safety and reverence you offered, and the profound sense that she mattered wholly and completely in your presence. To leave her better than you found her is to invest in her soul, to elevate her sense of self, to create an experience where pleasure, respect, attention, and care converge into something transcendent. And here lies the ultimate truth. A high-value man does not measure intimacy by conquest or performance, by duration or intensity, by superficial accolades of prowess. He measures it by the depth of connection, the weight of care, the sincerity of attention, and the lasting impression he leaves on her heart. Every gesture, every touch, every word, every pause carries meaning. Every moment after intimacy is a final brushstroke on the canvas of memory. A man who embraces this understands that the truest measure of his character is not what happens during the height of passion, but what remains when the physicality subsides, the warmth, the safety, the validation, the care, and the emotional resonance that linger long after the night has ended. So men, I challenge you to shift your focus. Stop worrying about your performance. Stop obsessing over what she remembers in terms of moves, timing, or technique. Instead, commit yourself to presence, patience, attentiveness, emotional safety, quiet confidence, and above all, generosity. Give your energy without expecting return, honor her in every action, listen without words, and leave her soul richer than it was when she entered your space. That is the secret to being remembered, to being cherished, and to leaving an unforgettable imprint on her life. Because in the end, women may forget the details, but they will never forget the man who made them feel safe, seen, valued, and alive. That, gentlemen, is the legacy of intimacy, the measure of a real man, the mark of a king in the bedroom, the echo of presence, care, and generosity that lasts far longer than passion ever could.